Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. It's Grace here at the Comfy Nest with Grace. And we're going to have some fun tonight. I'm going to do something I haven't done before. So this is a very risky attempt tonight to make something work, but I think we're going to be fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring it to you. I want to show you something that's really funny in a second here. Let's just make sure that this feed is working. Everybody who's coming on, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here. All that jazz, you know how that works. I do add names to my prize basket, so the more that you guys hit that share button, the more that you guys do this, the more people come on board, the more people that come on board, the more names go in the prize basket, and I pull names to send happy mail to. So that's how that works. Thank you to anybody who is able and willing to do that. And I pull names to send happy mail to. You get me double. You get me double tonight. No, not really. Okay. Get rid of the sound on this thing just so I can see the comments. Hey, from Texas, there's my Craft Crate member, Miss Wendy Perry. Who else is here? Let's see. Pam is here from Texas. Hello, Pam. And there's Teresa. And there's Carrie. Tex BFF in the house. Whoop, whoop. There's Jimmy, another Tex BFF. Those folks, what that basically means is these ladies are on my texting service. I wonder if it would be better. The camera's shaking like crazy tonight. I'm going to take my iPad off of that stand because it was making it shake like crazy. Maybe you guys want to shake. You want to shake tonight and do a little dance? Let's see. Late night crafting on a Monday. How crazy is that? Usually it's Tuesday nights, but I'm heading to Disney tomorrow. Well, really Wednesday, but my son has a football game tomorrow, so we're going to the football game and then off to Disney. Hey, Nicole. Hello, hello. Only some of us are going. My one son is staying. Hello, Donna. My husband is staying. They are not coming with. Hey, guys. Hey, Michelle. Hello, hello. Michelle Maidlow. There's Denise and there's Tracy. Look at you guys. Today, in the Craft Therapy Club, I showed them how to make coffee dyed paper. And it smells so good. If you like the smell of coffee, this is all the vintagey, fantastic coffee dyed envelopes and book pages and hymnal pages. Oh, you guys, this one was one of the stamped pages. I stamped it with some archival ink with this chicken, and look at how cute it turned out. I'm so excited. I've got these birds that I stamped. If you're a Craft Therapy Club member and you were there for this tutorial on how to coffee dye your own pages, look at my hymnal pages. Now listen, I didn't post for you guys in the Craft Therapy Club, but the longer you keep stuff in, the darker it gets. So when you are cooking your pages, just know that the longer they stay in and get heated up, the darker they get. I have so much paper and it gets that really loud crinkly sound. I've got doilies and I did my heart doilies, and actually they didn't come out any browner than they were the first time I did them, but my stamp turned out pretty darn cute on my pink doily. Anyway, oh, I want to pull these pages out because I want to show them. My doilies went everywhere. I do want to show you guys in the Craft Therapy Club this tomorrow, the pages that I printed on the laser printer and the inkjet printer. I want to show you what happened with those. Anyway, I have these all here. These very well may get used in tonight's project eventually. Not tonight, probably. We won't have time for that, but I'm going to put this aside. My whole office, my whole house smelled so good today because I was making coffee dyed papers. It smells so good. Has anybody else done that before? It is so fun to do. Let's see. Oh, Carrie, I'm so glad you love how they turned out. I love vintagey things. I just really do. I really like bright, colorful things too. So I feel like I don't want to be pinned down to one style. Is that okay with you? Like, I know that some artists and creators have a style and they stick with that all the time. And I love it all. I love so much of it. I love it all. Christy, thanks for the stars. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, there's already 85 people here. That means we got to put some names in the prize basket. So Christy Abston, yours is the first comment that I saw that was a stars comment. It's going, your name's going in the prize basket, but I will put your name and I'm going to grab two other names from the comments. We are going to be transforming a Mother Goose book tonight. Let me get these names in the prize basket, and then we're going to go ahead and do that. Is it the 6th or the 7th? It's the 6th. It's Labor Day. Christy Abston, I'm getting your name down. And I've been picking people from the replay watchers too. So if you catch the replay, make sure that you let me know that you're catching the replay, because I will choose some names from that group of people as well. So if you're not here live, it's okay. We still honor and welcome you anyway. I'm going all the way to the beginning, and the next one that I see is Teresa. Miss Teresa Erkey. Your name's going in the prize basket. I'm going to pick one more. If we hit 100, somebody let me know, because we'll add more names. Teresa, my light is doing something funky. When I go live at night now that it's dark at 9 p.m. now, it wasn't before, it is now, but I think because it's dark out, the lights in the room act really funky on the camera. Next name going in the prize basket is Miss Denise Parker. She says, hi Grace, text VFF, whoop whoop. Your name, your comment is the one that I saw next. Your name's going in the prize basket. So your name, I have not emptied the prize basket since probably February. So it's a big basket. And when I go live, if you've ever been here live and your name goes in the prize basket, if you're ever here for the replay and I announce that your name is in the prize basket, you have chances to win, and you could have multiple chances, right? Because your name may get pulled more than once if you're like a regular crafty chick here at the Comfy Nest with Grace. Debbie Miller, my Massachusetts friend, thank you for those stars. I just saw someone say they're a newbie, so welcome newbie, whoever you are. Hey Barbara in Minnesota, who said they were new? Hey Donna. Hello, hello. Oh man, it went across my screen so fast. I don't know who you are. Let's see if I can find her. I assume it's her. Hey, Jeannie Clifton. Oh, she's resting from her trip. Good for you, my dear. Good for you. Madeline loves all crafts as well. I can't pick, right? I like all styles. I like vintage. I like farmhousey. I like some boho. I love watercolor. They're really soft watercolors. And I like bold, bright colors. And I like it all. I like distressed. I like it all. Happy Labor Day, Miss Joy. Thank you for saying that. Pam loves watching this kind of craft. Yay! Diane's here from Georgia. Michaela's here. Hi, Tex BFF. Newbie. Oh, there she is, Miss Marge Walker. Hello, Miss Marge Walker. I found you. I knew I saw somebody said they were newbie. We love to welcome new folks. So welcome, welcome. Okay, Mother Goose book. Look at how big this book is, and it has the most beautiful illustrations. It tells us that the illustrator, the pictures are by a Japanese person. I can't say the name. Fujikawa. I don't know how to say Gaio Fujikawa. This book was originally Child World Children's Palace. It was originally $4.76. Hi, kiddo. But look at how much, again, and tell them how much I paid.
Oh, only a whopping 29 cents.
I paid 29 cents for this book, you guys, at my thrift store. Look. There's the proof. Yes, buddy boy.
I believe that we are going to have to come home before we leave again.
Okay, it's okay.
Because I don't want to leave my backpack.
Okay, that's okay.
And I also want
Sorry for the interruption, folks. We got a teenager chatting with me. I'm having a hot flash. Whew, go ahead, talk to me. I can't breathe.
I also want to put together a carry-on bag before.
Okay.
So, high five.
Are you packed, mostly?
Yes.
Okay.
Couple more things. It would be like my toothbrush, deodorant.
Okay, this is not talk about that all on here. They
job.
can't see yet. Come in a little further. He's trying to give you guys thumbs
Good
up.
job.
There it is. He really is here. My teenager talking to me. Are you going to bed?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna try to be done. I'm here for Craft Around the Clock. By the way, hello, Craft Around the Clock, folks. So I should be 45 minutes.
So fast.
Craft Around the Clock. So if you're not part of Craft Around the Clock, I am doing this as part, as a hostess in Craft Around the Clock. The beautiful, amazing Tracy Campbell, I don't know where she gets the energy she has, but she has coordinated and brought together creatives, crafters, creative business owners from all over the place to join and be hostesses in this free group. It's free for you, the Craft Around the Clock group, where you can watch live crafters and creators round the clock. Okay, she posts a schedule every day, and every day it's not all 24 hours every day. She's trying, and she may eventually get there, but for now, Craft Around the Clock You can get the schedule every day. Just join the free group. I gave you the link in this description. All right, let's see. 107. Tracy, we got to get another name in that prize basket. Let me see the next name. Oh, Christy says, hi, Gannon. And you're already in here, Christy, so I gotta scoot along and see if I can find somebody else. Miss Katie Evans from Kentucky. Your name is going in the prize basket. Okay, I'm going to redo this Mother Goose book. This May, I'm going to be honest with you here. Full disclosure here, because I have had to do this in the past. Most of the time, you guys don't mind. This may be a part 1, part 2. How many of you, will you tell me in the comments if you are art journalers, junk journalers? Do you love to junk journal? I love to junk journal. These are the ones that I've created more recently. And this one actually we did in the Craft Therapy Club. I ended up doing 2 because, you know, I create the one that's the example to show them how to create it. And then I create one with them live during our monthly workshops. But using like old papers, this is like phone book paper, brown paper bags. I have some of my coffee dyed papers in here to create pages to make a journal for yourself that you can write in, you can put artwork in, you can keep memorabilia in, whatever your little heart desires. I love to create these books. This was actually made out of a big envelope, as was this one. This one is much more full because I actually started to put things in them. Somebody sent me some Happy Mail, and her Happy Mail is in this little envelope. So they get thicker as time goes on, as you start to fill them with whatever it is that you want to keepsake in them. I love them, you guys. I love them. And I've only ever made them from like pizza boxes and cereal boxes and envelopes. I haven't made one yet from a book. And that's what I'm going to do with this Mother Goose book. Now listen, before you get mad at me, I love this book. It's very vintagey. It was like $5 originally, $4.76. I paid 29 cents because it's totally torn apart. Like, this is why it's 29 cents. The whole inside of it has fallen out and in a couple of pieces. It is a binding that has been glued. There are different kinds of bindings to books. I don't know if you know this, but some are glued and some are threaded together. This one was a glued binding, and even the binding has come apart. So all the pages have fallen out. So I think that's why it was on sale, on sale, on sale. Now the illustrations are gorgeous, and this will all get used eventually and somehow. I mean, they really are beautiful illustrations for a children's book. However, I'm going to use the shell of this book to create a new like art journal, junk journal. That's what we're going to do. I've not done this before. So this is going to be part 1. I just know it. I just know it's going to take me enough time to get this done that we are going to have to wait to do the insides, all of the parts that go inside all of the pages. We will do those later. So just stay tuned. Make sure that you get on the text service. The number is back there above my head. You can get on the texting service or just change your notifications so that you know when I go live again. I will do it on my next Craft Around the Clock live so that those of you in the group won't miss out on the part 2. Okay, so we're going to call this part 1. I'm going to put this screen down. Uh-oh. I need you to get really down there so you can see the book. Okay, it is a glued binding book. And the glue is still there. In fact, it's like coming off all over my desk. It's like dried and glued and icky. These 2 parts, these gorgeous illustrations that I'm going to leave in the book, they are glued onto the cover of the book. Oh, it says it was suggested to be $5.95. It was sold for $4.76, but I got it for 29 cents because it's all broken. But we are going to redo the cover. So what I need to do first is to paint the cover. And I'm going to use, guys, wait till you see this paper. Look at this rice paper I have. I just love it. And I'm not a Halloween-y, fan, but it says Witch Lives Here. And it's the witch's house. And there she is, her little portrait, and some bats and some diamonds, which are diamonds and circles are some of my favorite to art journal in my art journals with. And there's a beautiful scrolly design there. This is going to go on the cover, but I don't want to just put it on this pink and white cover. So I'm going to gesso this first, and then we're going to talk through how the rest of this is going to go. Okay, and I picked out some of my papers. Oh, look at them, they're luscious. From my coffee staining to go inside the book. But like I said, I think that's going to end up being part 2 because I just don't think we're going to have enough time. Because we are allotted with the Craft Around the Clock group to fit everybody in, all the beautiful, amazing, creative people in throughout the day. We're given a limit, like a time limit. Grace, you can, and it is hard for those of us who are used to having no time limit. It's hard for, you know, to be told you got half hour, but I respect it totally. Tonight I have 45 minutes, and in all actuality, I am the last crafty person to go live. So I probably have a little more time, but I still want to be respectful of that 45-minute time as much as I possibly can. I am coating this with gesso, and I debated, should I use black gesso or white gesso? I'll show you the brand name because somebody's going to ask me. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's just their Master's Touch white gesso, and I went with the white. I'm going to end up painting this, and it's got a really shiny, I don't know if you can see, it's a shiny book cover, and I don't want that shiny to like resist my paint. So I'm prepping it, I'm priming it first with some gesso. You could buy a paint primer, you guys. I forgot to take this sticker off. I don't know if I can get it off. This is like a really old vintagey book. It's coming. It's coming off. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that came off so easily. And let's see if we can get this. This is a newer sticker from my thrift store. If we can get these off, it's because the outside of this book is shiny. I'm sure that was so easy to get off. If I was smart, I should have, oh, where's my garbage? I probably should have like degreased this first, but I didn't. I did such a long welcome that I thought I'd better just get into putting some primer on this book. And you're gonna see how I'm going to prep it to accept new pages. How am I gonna affix these pages on the inside? Who else does junk journaling and craft journaling? Hey Janice, hey June, hello, hello. There's Jane, thank you for sprinkling, Miss Jane. Thank you, thank you. What gesso does is it's a primer, and you can use it on canvas panels. Artists use it on canvas panels to prep the canvas. You'll sometimes buy canvases and they'll say they're already primed with gesso. But if they're not, you might want to put a coat of gesso. It helps your paint will adhere better to the surface. And on canvases and paper, if you first use gesso, then you probably won't use as much paint because the paint won't absorb into the paper or the canvas as much. Otherwise, those are very absorbent surfaces, substrates, and so you're going to end up using a lot of paint. But the gesso gives you a nice toothy barrier that the paint will go on, and it doesn't normally take very long to dry. I have my fan going because I'm having a stupid hot flash. Well, that's it. Over this here is where I'm going to put this gorgeous rice paper. Is going to go on the cover, and then I'm going to try to paint the rest of it to match. So we have to get that part done first. We're going to let this dry. I just wonder how much of these edges should I hit? Probably a little bit, huh? Because I may leave them white with the gesso, but I may end up painting them. I'm just not sure. We're gonna have to see how all this paint comes together. If you are, I don't want to mess up that inside though. I really like the inside of this book, and I want to keep it, I want to preserve it for now, and then maybe eventually I'll change my mind. The cover on this book is Halloween-y. It's got like a Halloween theme. And so maybe I'll want it to be really dark on the inside, the whole book. But if the illustrations on the inside of the book are just so beautiful, it kind of kills me to cover them up. So we are going to repurpose this old book. So if you have books, hardcover books that the bindings have fallen apart, you very well may be able to do the same thing with it. Create a little art journal or junk journal for yourself. I just scratched off my wet gesso. My gesso needs to dry. I'm going to clean my hands off and check comments real quick. Hey, Kana. Hey, Kimberly in Texas. Hey, Donna. It's okay that you're late. I'm glad you made it. Hello, ladies. There's Deborah Boltz, and there's Judy. She does journals, she's saying. Michelle's trying to learn. Christina, because of you, yes, I love junk journaling. Oh, Christina, that makes my heart happy. It's like a whole new world of art that you can just fall in love with. Debbie says, I want to so bad, I just don't know where to start. Debbie, get in the Craft Therapy Club, girlfriend. The lessons are there. Roseanne's just starting. Yay! Dawn loves all paper crafting and mixed media. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, maybe I'm done with the gesso. I'm going to put this aside so it doesn't dry up on me. And I'm going to grab my little drying tool and get this to move along a little more quickly. I really want to start junk journaling, Michaela says, but I've not found a good book to use at the Goodwill. Any book will do. Any book will do, or you can create your own like we did in the Craft Therapy Club from an envelope. That's how we did it. So don't let that hold you back, my friend. Don't let it hold you back. I scratched that right there. I'm just going to even that out a little bit. I'm going to dry this, and actually the painting part is going to take the longest on this. I thought about gessoing it before I came live, and I thought, no, I want you to see this whole process. I'm going to take out the big gun here to get it to dry a little faster. There we go. Now we're getting some good drying going on. It makes it really matte and toothy, depending on some gessos have more tooth than others. But it gives it like a texture, so your paint will really stick to it well. So we're in good shape here. Now, before I do the outside of this thing, I'm going to talk you through this a little bit. On the inside, this part right here, I'm going to try to show this to you. Oh, it's still a little wet right there. Right in here, I want you to focus your eye right in here at the binding. This piece of paper that has this illustration on it is connected to this, which is the center of the binding. The center of the binding, and it's all glued on. So can you see how that paper bridges this binding? I'm going to take that out. I'm going to cut it out with an X-Acto knife, leaving the beautiful, I want to leave the beautiful illustration. I don't want to lose that. Uh-oh, I just cut a little bit of it. Crooked hand. But I want to tear out this section. Oh, it's all full of glue, you guys. Like, it's all crusty. Ugh. Look, the glue is all dried and crusty. That's the glue. I'm gonna try to get it out because I don't want that ugly, I don't want this ugly strip of like dry glue. And you can see they reinforce the back. Watch all this dry, crusty glue. They reinforce the back with like a weaved, like a mesh. It almost looks like cheesecloth, but it holds the whole book together. But the book fell apart. It fell apart. So we're going to try to get rid of all this so we can recreate this book into something new. I want to get all this glue out of here because I don't want this glue, this crusty glue, in my book. So I'm going to do this before I paint. And I've never done this before, you guys. So bear with me. This is going to reveal the cardboard underneath. And actually, if I can get in here with a little scissor, I can really cut. My X-Acto knife obviously isn't that sharp because I was struggling to get this weaved, it looks like cheesecloth, get that cut out of there. Kind of holds it together. Now, listen, it looks all fringy, and I actually really like the fringe. Let me get the glue into the garbage. I like the fringe. You can see bits of fringe from the cheesecloth stuff. And I'm going to leave it there. Okay, but there's the cardboard backing that makes the binding of the book. It helps to support this. And then here's the front back cover, right? I'm going to use this as the base of my book when making this a journal. I'm going to use that as the base of my book, but I wanted to get that all cut out before I painted so that there's just no chance. I don't want to paint this and then flip it over and be messing around with the knife and chance cutting through my paint job. Okay, so that's ready to go, ready to accept whatever I'm going to put inside of it. We're going to get working on the paint job, but first, let me get rid of all this excess glue. Haha, I have a little paper bag hiding under here. What are you doing there? Okay, I have a lot of like crusty excess glue that I don't want to get into my paint. All the dried up glue from the book. You gotta like dissect it first to get it apart, and then you can start working on making it pretty the way you want it. Thank you for all the stars, anybody who sent me stars. Thank you. Okay, so here's the challenge. This is gonna get Mod Podged on the front, on the cover. It's not gonna cover like totally, it's gonna cover most of the cover, but there's gonna be a little bit of a frame left around the edges because I'm gonna take off the white part of this piece of rice paper. So I wanna paint this, and I wanna paint it so that it matches the background on this thing, which you can see has many colors to it. There's like a light tan. There's actually some red or orange. I can't really tell. Like up in here, it looks distressed. Same thing down here. Like that color background is very different than the color background over here. So I'm gonna try to get it to match. So what I did was I went over to my paint bottles and I started pulling paints that I thought could contribute to making this same thing. So I grabbed like a light tan, I grabbed like a soft colored brown, it's kind of like a caramel color, it's called Coffee Latte. I don't know, I think there's some reds and oranges, so I grabbed some orange. I grabbed like, this is called ochre, yellow ochre, because I'm trying to find colors that match what goes on back here. And I think there's some reds, like I see hints of red in here. So I grabbed some reds. I don't know that I'll end up using all of these, but I grabbed them just to try to get them to match. So it may seem counterintuitive, but the first thing I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna glue down the paper, and then we are going to paint around it to try to make it look really cohesive. Okay, so we're just gonna do the outside of this today. And I do like a torn edge to my, I like the look of a torn edge. So let me grab a paintbrush. I'm grabbing just a round paintbrush and I'm gonna wet it. And I'm gonna wet my paper right at the edge, like the part that I wanna take off. Okay, so I'm just taking the paintbrush and I'm wetting this seam, because I think I'll be able to tear this so it looks really organic. I don't want to cut it. I don't want it to look like super, like I cut it. I don't want it to look like that. So I'm gonna grab now a pencil eraser. Usually with my napkins, when I work with napkins, the pencil eraser, yeah, it's enough rubber to just pull at these edges to tear away that rice paper so that what's left is a really organic looking tear instead of a cut line from a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife or something like that. So you just have to wet it down, just regular water in a paintbrush. You wet down the edges. So let's go ahead and do that part. And then you go around with you follow up, and it could be a silicone tool if you had it. I just happen to use my eraser all the time. And we're just gonna tear off in a really wonky way. You know me, I like wonky. We're gonna tear it off. Now, is there a faster way to do this? I don't know. If there is, you can clue us in. This is just how I do it. You see how it just comes off really nice, and then you have like a nice distressed edge rather than a cut line from the scissor or the X-Acto. So all I'm doing is, like I said, I'm wetting the white part right at the line where they meet and then tearing it off. And I don't want it to be super exact. That one was being really stubborn right there. I don't want it to be super exact. My fan is like drying my paintbrush before I can get to doing this. This decoupage paper, if you're wondering, it's from Decoupage Queen, is where I got it. And it's A4 sized. rice paper, and she has gorgeous designs on her website. You just go to decoupagequeen.com, I think. I don't get, you know, any kickbacks or anything. Like, I'm not affiliated with her business at all. I think it's a woman who owns it. But she does have really beautiful papers, I'll tell you that. And this one, like I said, I'm not usually a Halloween-y design person, but I just think it's so fantastic. It's even more fantastic without this white edge, truthfully. Oh gosh, I shut the fan off so it wouldn't dry my paintbrush and my water, and now I'm like, I need it back, girls. I need it back. What's everybody else up to tonight? Anybody else junk journaling tonight, creating journals, doing artwork in your journals? What are y'all up to? Talk to me in the comments. Ooh, I went really aggressive right there. I love that this background has diamonds in it and circles because they're two of my favorite shapes to work with in my books. So it makes perfect sense for a cover of one of my books. Okay. There's all the excess paper that we don't need. It's just going to go right in the garbage. And then here's our paper ready to be decoupage on, and you can see the beautiful, like, kind of rough edge that you got. Oh, there's a little bit more white up there than I would like to see. So I'm going to tear a little bit more of that off because I don't want to see the white. I just want the colored parts of it. Cool, right? That made it easy breezy. We're going to glue this on. We're going to decoupage this on, and then we're going to paint around it and try to get the sides and the back to work with this. Wish me luck here. First thing we need is our Mod Podge, which I know I took it out. It's on the floor. My desk is only so big, so I have to store stuff on the floor. The link to the Craft Therapy Club. Thank you, Miss Carrie, for answering Donna. I'm seeing this question now. The link to the Craft Therapy Club with the coupon. I have a $5 coupon right now and a free gift for anybody who signs up right now, and that link is in the description of this video. I can also see, maybe I can put it in a comment. Let's see if Facebook will allow me to comment on my own thing here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it here in a minute, girls. I'll put the link right here for you in the comments. Just give me a second here. I'm trying to get it to look a little smaller so it's not so cumbersome for you. Yeah, so if you use this link, you'll get the special pricing, which is $5 off right now, and a special gift for me. So here we go. Almost there. All right, I just shared it. I think I just shared it. So look for a comment from me that has that link. Thank you, Carrie, for helping. Just go to thecomfynestwithgrace.com. That's the other way that you can enroll or register. Okay, let's grab a paintbrush. This is one of my paintbrushes that I use when I'm Mod Podging. The ones I put floral on, I took duct tape and put floral duct tape on some of my brushes so I know those are my glue brushes. But I do like using the bigger brushes. Now, it's good to have white on the background here. I could have gone with black gesso as well. I was debating if I should have used like a black primer or if I should have used the white primer on this. I was really debating. So I don't think, I think it would have been fine either way. But what I want to do is get a really thick coat of matte Mod Podge on here so that I can push this rice paper into it and glue it down. And then we are going to try to paint the rest of this to match. There, we get a nice thick bunch on there. The nice thing about rice paper, it's a lot easier to work with than napkins. It's so thick and easy to work with. You can use, sometimes I use a dry paintbrush to push this around. You can use something like an old credit card with rice paper, you can, to just smooth that out. Just being gentle and careful. You want to get those wrinkles out. Or maybe you want them in there. It's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong with how to decoupage. It's totally up to you. But I want to push all these corners and get them into that glue so that they stick down. Now, when I paint over this, I'm going to paint right over these edges, I think. So I'm going to be, mashing my paint up with the edges of my paper to try to get them to work together nicely. But I want to make sure that they're all stuck down. Actually, you guys, it wouldn't bother me if some were sticking up because I really like texture. So some sticking up wouldn't be a bad thing. That's how easy that was. And I love, love, love this seam. I love it. I love it. It says you know what laudanum is? Laudanum. It's poison. It was like people used it for medicine back in the day, like way back in the day. But I think it actually poisons people if not taken properly. Kind of like a lot of our medicines. Yeah, if you have any other questions, please shout them out. Let me know. I think I'm going to be done with the Mod Podge for now. That's nice and, you know, stuck down on there really well. I want to get the edges dried so that I can start painting. Hey, Vivian. Hello, hello, friend. What are you doing tonight? I'm watching you, Michelle. You guys are so fun. I chalked some pumpkin leaves and acorns. Good for you, Denise Parker. That sounds fun. You must have gotten your Club Couture transfer. Yay! That's so exciting. Oh, I lost my feed. I lost my comments here. Let's get them back. There they are. I got it from the paper from Decoupage Queen. That's the name of her business, Decoupage Queen. So just Google it and you'll find it. Now, I don't know how to do the paint. I really don't. I think it would be, I mean, I just don't know what color to do. So I'm going to open up my full book because I can. It's like totally can lay it out flat now. I want to make sure that this is dry before I go in with paint. Yep, and I'm going to start coming in, and I think I'm going to come in with like a brush that has like a big head on it, because I think I'm going to stipple these colors in. It would be faster if I could find a bigger one. Let me see if I can find even a bigger one than that. You guys, this is like my crafter's junk drawer. You must have one too, right? Please tell me. This one works really well, but it might just be too big for this book. I love that brush, but it might just be too big. That one might work. This is just a little chip brush. That one might work. Okay, so I'm going to grab some paints, and I'm going to put them on my craft mat here. I'm going to start with the light color, because see how it's light in here, but it looks a little more yellow to me. So I'm just going to try to match. I might not have ever opened this one. Hold on, I got another one that looks very similar. Yellow ochre. It's just a different brand that is open. I'm going to just try to match what I see going on here. And I don't know if I'm going to be very successful. So like I said, wish me luck here. We're going to mix in some of that yellow ochre to the tan, that like light tan. And I'm just going to start putting it on here. And I can see it's a little more yellow than I want it to be. I'm just going to like stipple it on here and try to get these two to match. Well, that yellow ochre was powerful, holy. And now I have a ton of paint on here, but that's okay. I'm going to go right up against the edge, that torn edge that I created. I'm going to go right up against it. I don't expect that I'm going to make this like a perfect match. I really don't. But we're just going to do our best to kind of create a background on the rest of this that is going to complement what's going on the front. I'm not going to be able to duplicate what she did. I wish I bought two of them, because I would have put one on the front and one on the back, but I only have one of them. And the back isn't going to get seen as much, so I don't really... The back doesn't matter as much to me, but I want to create colors that are stippled in here that kind of are similar. You guys, I do this all the time when I'm working with my napkins to try to get them to work with the surfaces that I'm on. And I usually, you know, it's usually pretty seamless. It just takes a little practice. And what I will say is we're always way more critical of our own stuff than other people will be. So I want you to always, when you're working on projects, to just remember that the people who are looking at your newly formed book that you create are not going to see it like you did. They didn't see the whole process. They're not going to see that you had to paint it with gesso and then do the Mod Podge and then put on your paper. They're not going to see any of that. They're just not going to see any of that. And because they don't know the process of how it got there, they're not going to know what to look for. They're not going to know to look for paint colors that may or may not match. So really, you doing a pretty darn good job is going to be pretty darn good, and you're not going to have to worry about much more. So do you see how I'm going a little bit over the paper? So I'm going a little bit over it and into the decorative part of the paper to make it all like work together. And I'm trying to match the background color as much as I can. Will I get it perfect? Heck to the no, I will not. However, we can try. We can try. I have a ton of paint right here because there just was so much of it on my brush after I mixed this up. I feel like I need some darker tones to the paint down here. So I'm gonna go and grab a little more brown. Just see, I just put a tiny little dot of it, and I'm gonna put it on my brush, and in a new place here, I'm just gonna stipple it into my brush until I get a darker toned paint color there. There's nothing like really scientific about this, folks. There really isn't. You're just gonna blend these in, and it's okay if I go over the 31 a little bit. It's okay because it's going to make it all come together. It's going to make it all seamless and look like they're really playing together nicely. That's the way I like to put it. Let's see what I got going there. Kind of makes it look dreamy and like seamless, like they're working together. So if I have to hide a little bit of that paper, as much as it breaks my little heart, if I can come up into the paper a little bit, into those diamonds, it's pulling the color that I created, even if it doesn't match perfectly, up into the rest of the project. So see how I'm pulling it up into the project a little bit? That's to obscure the fact that I had to create a color because I wasn't sure what to do here. Okay, so far, that's what we got. Tell me what you think. I'm feeling like it's a little bit yellow in this section here, right in here. So I'm gonna try to grab a little bit more of my browns and come in this like coffee latte color and come in over here while it's still wet and blend in a little bit more of that darker color. I haven't even brought in any of the reds or anything yet. I'm just trying to get this seamless. I'm losing the shape of these diamonds on the edge, but it's okay. It's okay because we want to try to get everything to work together. Oh, you're loving it. Thank you, Lori. Amazing blending. Thank you, Brenda. It takes practice, but you guys can do this. I totally know it. It's pretty darn close, right, Michelle? The colors, if you had never known that I just glued that on there, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. We're making it part of the whole cover. The paint job becomes part of the project. It becomes part of it. So see, I can pull some of those colors up into like the open parts of the design so that now I'm like pulling these in over the diamonds, over the house, just a little bit, not a lot. So it looks really cohesive. Okay, now I need to do this. I need to get the whole back done. So I don't need to stipple the whole back. It would take me forever with this little brush. So I'm gonna put this one aside because that's looking like it's in pretty good shape. I'm gonna use the same colors I was using. I'm gonna grab the bigger brush. It will take me less time. If I grab this paint and the bigger brush, mix some more of it, and I'm gonna make the base color, and then we're gonna play with stippling to get it so it doesn't look like just like a mustardy yellow back here, which is what right now that color's looking very mustardy yellow to me. I'm gonna grab some more of the brown. And if you do this and you're stippling it on there and you have a good juicy amount of paint, which I do, when you get like a section of it done, so say I can get a quarter of this back part of the book done, and I can look at it and say, it's very yellow. Like I feel like it's just too yellow. I'm gonna grab some more of the brown, and while it's still wet, grab some more of that brown and go ahead and stipple it and blend it right into the rest of your book. In this section, I'm just going to work in little sections because it's overwhelming if we think of trying to do the whole darn back of the book all at once. So we're just going to stipple that in. I'm going to come in with some stencils a little later to do some things on the back here to make it mimic what's going on the front. Okay, I got to mix in some more. I'm running out of paint because I have a lot to cover back here. So I'm using the same spot. Where's the yellow? I can tell it's just too bright right now. Whoa, I probably added too much yellow. We'll see. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and work it in over here. It almost reminds me like of a stucco design. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't all have to match every section of the way. But if you do it in little parts and you keep working on it while it's still wet, you'll easily be able to blend the other colors in to get what you're looking for. And I have this brush, it's losing a lot of bristles. I have this brush that is really loose and has really wiry bristles in a round format. It's kind of like one of these chip brushes, except it's round. And I gotta turn my fan, girls. Gotta turn that fan on. It really, you can see in the paint, you can see the peaks. You can see peaks. And it's just like regular acrylic paint. This isn't anything special. It's not even heavy body paint. I'm just using regular acrylic paint, but you can see all the peaks because the brush is loose and I'm stippling it on. And I love that look. I love it. So I can come in areas and add some of the darker color. Now, I don't have to add it everywhere, but I can add that darker brown, and I'm kind of tempted to pull in one of the reds now. Let's just see if we wanted to pull in a dollop of one of these like berry reds. It's gonna add a totally different look in here. I should wait until the end to do that. I really should, but I'm too excited. I'm too excited to do it now and see what it does to the page. I just want it to look mucked up and match what we got going on the front. And we're gonna cover this, like I said, with stencils. So it doesn't, this is just the first layer, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You could come in, get your color down, and then come back in and get that stippled look. I'm gonna show you something quick here. I need more paint though. Look at my original paint color, how much brighter it is than what the mixed color is. You gotta mix to get that custom color that you want. Look at the difference when I hold it up close. The part that I brushed, how smooth it is, and the part that I stippled. There's a huge difference in the texture that it gives and the look that it gives. And I just put my finger in a blob of wet paint right there. I took off the paint that I just painted down. So you could just brush on all your paint and then come back and add the stippling if you just want to get your paint color down on here. Uh-oh. I think I just got paint all over my inside cover. Hold on, girls. Yeah, I don't want this paint on here. I want to salvage this. I just think it's so beautiful. Yep, I gotta salvage that. My desk is just so big. I only have so much space. Space challenged crafter. Let's check our time. Yeah, it's just what I thought. So my time is supposed to be up. I'm gonna go for a little longer because I know, only because I know I'm the last crafter here tonight for Craft Around the Clock. So I'm gonna finish this cover, and then ladies, this is like, ladies and gentlemen, I should say. I'm assuming there are some gentlemen, but I don't know who you are. Mostly, it's funny because I think there are generally some men who come on and watch, but we generally hear from the ladies. So hello, ladies and gentlemen. Part 2 will come next time I do Craft Around the Clock. I'll do part 2 of this. So you can either catch me in that group for part 2 when we do the actual book pages. We're going to be adding the book pages, and I have so many fun ideas. This is a really big book compared to most journals that we usually see people do. Most of the ones that I've done have been a lot smaller than this. This is about twice the size of the ones I usually do. So on the next time I come, I'm going to have to wait until then to do the stenciling part of it and to do the the inside. We'll put together the inside. So now I'm adding in this brown, and it's going to be a little darker in this corner. I can spread that out and lessen that darkness, but I don't mind having some areas that are a little brighter, some areas that are a little whiter. I'm getting too much yellow. Oh, thanks for all those hearts. Thanks for all those hearts, you guys. I'm getting too much yellow, so I'm gonna grab some of that whiter, brighter color. And honestly, it doesn't matter the brand of paint. I'm using some basic craft acrylic paints here. The brand doesn't matter, and really the names don't matter. What I always do is I take whatever I'm basing it on. So this was my piece of paper here from Decoupage Queen. I take that, and that's what I start with. And I take it over to my paints. Don't worry about the name of the paint color. Don't worry about the brand. Just, if you're gonna use acrylic paint, use all acrylic paints. And then try to, like, I take the paints and I hold them up to the paper and say, yep, that looks like there's a bit of that in there. I think I see just a tish of that in there. And then I pull them all over to my table and I just start working. I don't worry about crossing brands. I don't worry about if it's called lipstick red and you think, oh, that doesn't look lipstick. Sometimes the names can throw you off a little, I guess is what I'm getting at. So don't let that happen to you. So I've got a little bit of that red in here, but this is feeling really yellow to me. So I'm gonna come in with some of the brown and the white mixed in on here, and I'm gonna put it on top of where I think it's feeling really yellowy. Whoops. And it does. It looks super stippled, you guys. It looks really stippled. This is the back of the book, so I expect that, and there's not going to be a whole lot of people looking at the back of the book anyway, but I want the whole thing to look really nice. I really do. I have some brush bristles in my paint, and I'll just use a little tweezer before it dries to get that off of there. But if I want like to really make the edges to look a little darker, I can come into these two darker colors and stipple them into the edges. And here now is looking really bright. All right, you guys. I'm so excited. I had hoped to get into the part where I would be stenciling, but that's not going to happen tonight. So you know what that does for us? Let me grab, while it's still wet, take my little tweezers, my little set of tweezers from Sizzix, and I have three long bristles that I want to get out of there, and I want to do it while it's wet. It's easier, number one, and then if it does leave a line while it's still wet, you can go in if it left a mark and just go over it and fix it. Hold on, I'm gonna try to hold this up, but it's still very wet. Let me take the dryer to it for just a second and I'll show you front and back. Michelle likes the stippling. It's such a great way to like blend paints together for this technique. It's a great way to do it. Who said they love it? Thank you for saying that. Yeah, she said, don't go by the name. Some don't go by the name. Yes, Deborah's saying she's finding that too. Sometimes the names will throw you off. You guys, I think it's pretty good, actually. There's just the slightest bit of red in this placard that says which lives here. There's just the slightest bit of red, but I chose to pull red in. Oh, I see one more bristle here. I chose to pull the red in because I wanted to mimic what was going on the front, right? So you can see I left a little white mark. I don't know if you can see that with the tweezer. So it's okay, we'll just go over it. And this is just layer one. We're gonna be putting other stuff on top here. Oh, it's so exciting. You guys, I'm loving it so far. This does not look like a Mother Goose book anymore. It does not. All right, I want to show you something. So you have to decide. Totally up to you. Does not look like a Mother Goose book anymore, but look. So see, my tops are a little bit white and pink still. So they don't have to match exactly. They really don't, but I'm gonna close this up as much as I can, and I'm gonna stipple on, because I've got plenty of paint. I'm gonna stipple this on. I'm closing it because I really like the illustrations on the inside, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. I'm just gonna leave them for now. So I don't wanna lose the gorgeous illustrations that were done, but I want those to match. So now that I've got it almost dry, I'm gonna come around and see how that's white. I'm gonna come around and just stipple in these colors that are already on my brush before I lose the brush and the paint on the brush. Before I finish out, we're just gonna go around on each one of these edges and make sure to make them match. It doesn't take long. Everything's stippled all around it, so it's not like I'm gonna be messing anything up on the outside. See that? All right. Alrighty. I'm gonna dry that so I can hold it up and show you. Woo! I have something that's gonna crash, boom, bang here in a minute. Hang tight. I'm gonna use all my markers. Oh, tiny little craft room. That's what you get. A little bit tacky, but not bad. This is like it's like when you're painting in your house and you have to do kind of like the taping and the prime work before you can get to the fun stuff. Okay, look. Look at how pretty that is. Oh my goodness, so pretty. And then the back, just seamless, right? We're looking good so far. I'm gonna come back in the next time and I have diamond shaped and circle shaped stencils that I'm going to use to try to like mimic what we got going on here. Will it look exactly the same? No, it won't, but we're going to do our best. And then look at it, kind of funny now because we got this bright, beautiful children's illustration in the middle. That's okay. That's for another time. But we got this ready to go. This will be the cover for a completely new junk journal, art journal, whatever you want to make it. So I hope you guys love it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that come together. If you're interested in joining us in the Craft Therapy Club, you can use the link in the description or you'll find it in the comments here. That has a $5 coupon attached to that link. Plus, I will send you a free gift to those of you who decide to join us in there. There is instruction in that group for a full junk journal that we created from an envelope. So I can show you how to just create a basic junk journal. Oh, okay, now thanks for saying that. I'm so glad you guys love it. All right, you guys, have a beautiful, blessed night. The next time you hear from me, I will probably be on my little vacay. So watch for some photos there. Text BFFs. You'll be getting some photos behind the scenes from our little vacay. So thank you guys for joining me. Private message me if you have questions, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.